Okay.
Okay, great. Well, welcome everyone. We are all here for the High Performance Manager Program Open Day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for already sharing in the chat, where you're based and why you're here. Jess and I will do the same. I'm Elena, Managing Director of Think Productive, based in Brighton in the UK, and I'm here today to introduce you to our exciting new program for people managers, and I'll be taking you through why it exists and the kind of transformation you can expect for yourself and your team. And I'm joined here today by...
I'm Jess. I'm the Director of Communication and Connection at Think Productive. I'm based in Frome, Somerset, and I'll be taking you through what it looks and feels like to join the programme, and then I'll be opening the floor to questions and a Q&A. So feel free to use the chat throughout, but if you have any specific questions you'd like answered at the end of the session, there's a Q&A feature at the bottom of your screens. So just chuck your questions in there and we'll get to them at the end.
Oh, thanks, Jess. We're going to be here for 40 minutes. If you're here, I'm going to assume that you already know a little bit about Think Productive and what we do, but just in case, I'm going to do a very quick summary. We at Think Productive, we inspire and equip people to transform work for the better. And we do this through our workshops, our keynotes. We have newsletters and a blog and a podcast and books. We've got lots of subject matter experts on the team who have written books. We are the people behind How to Be a Productivity Ninja, which I'm sure many of you have heard of and maybe even read. It's that business bestseller with a bit of a cult following. And through that, hundreds of thousands of readers have transformed their work for the better, through our, working smarter, not harder approach and human, not superhero. So we are those people. We're the people behind that book. We've also had a 4-day week for about 12 years. So we're real pioneers there, and we certainly walk the talk in all of what we do. Don't worry, we will not be pushing the 4-day week on anyone. Our approach works for whatever your organizational setup is. It's universally applicable. So don't worry about that, but it is great. Okay, I'm going to now just, if you'll indulge me in sharing a couple of the testimonials that we've had over the many years that we've been running, so you can see kind of the impact and our approach. Okay, so these are just a couple of the thousands of testimonials that we have like this. Maybe I'll read them out. My whole team loved it. Been thinking about nothing else for the last 48 hours. Amazing.
I love that one.
Yeah. Life-changing is how I would describe Think Productive methods. I have never seen so many employees so enthused about implementing ideas and discovering new concepts proposed in a workshop before. A liberating and productive workshop, a must-have for any workforce. That person's very good at sound bites. It was well thought out, practical, and the best use of time I've had in a training session in years. And Think Productive have helped me leave a legacy here. Their team really do walk the talk. They fully embody their brand. And formatting's just off there. That's my fault. Damn. But I know who that person was. Thank you, L&D manager at Boots. So this approach, one of the questions that we've been asked over the years, how do we take this very engaged, human-centered, high-performing approach beyond personal productivity and mailboxes and meetings? How do we take it into the realm of organizational culture and leadership? So that question is what has led us to develop 3 new leadership management programs. They're part of the series, and this is what we've been working on with our subject matter experts over the last couple of years, cooking these up. We have level 1, and this one is for emerging leaders. Level 2 for more experienced leaders. And then number 3, which is the visionary leader for strategic and C-suite. Okay. Now, doesn't matter what your level of experience with leadership is. I think we all know and can agree that how you lead and how you work impacts everyone around you who works with you, right? And instead of role modeling, what many of us see out in the world, reactivity, overwhelm, frustration, a stressy, demotivating culture. Instead of that, these 3 programs are all about role modeling, self-awareness, being human-centered, and working in a sustainably productive way. Okay, and through that way of working, you can help your organization become a better, more successful place for you to work and for those around you to work in. People will want to be on your team, okay, on your high-performing team, because you're going to be driving higher levels of trust and psychological safety. Kindness. Yes, kindness in business. There is a case for it. Our founder of Think Productive, Graham Walcott, he's writing a book on this very subject. So very excited about that. Resilience, very important in this ever-changing world we live in. Engagement and retention, creativity and innovation, all feeding from this kind of environment of high trust and psychological safety, where people feel safe to take risks and make suggestions. Productivity and impact thinking, so increasing performance, and then lower stress, overwhelm, frustration, and staff turnover, like all that nasty stuff. Right, I would like to now run a poll. Okay, it's going to be anonymous. Jess, do you want to take over here? Yep.
So you should all see a poll on your screen. So the question is, which of these are you wanting to improve in your organisation right now, or in your team, or just yourself? You can pick as many as you like, and we'll just give you a few seconds to just pick a few options there, and then I'll show you the results. Yeah, real mix coming through. Engagement's looking high, productivity and impact thinking. Lots of people wanting lower stress, overwhelm, frustration and staff turnover. It's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll end the poll there. You should all be able to see the answers there. So yeah, lots needed in our organisations.
Yes, and I think lots. Yeah, I think we all want a lot of this stuff, basically. And you know, when all these elements come together, what you have is a high performing organization, right? Formed of highly engaged people. And this is what the data looks like for organizations with highly engaged people. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this meta-analysis that Gallup do every couple of years, but basically the evidence is very, very strong for what we've just been talking about. This is going to be up on YouTube, by the way, if you want to have a closer look at all of that. Of course, you know, like everything that we do at Think Productive, these 3 programs, they're human-centered, they're fresh, they're practical, they're thought-provoking. Okay, we've thoughtfully designed each level for the modern leader, and through each level, we've got our signature Productivity Ninja mindset and kindful leadership approach running through them all, because we really believe that they're the kind of skills and qualities that are needed for the future of work, for leading in the future of work, I should say, but for everyone anyway. I think everyone could do this. Today, we are here to talk about level 1, the high performance manager. And this has been developed especially for emerging leaders. I've said, you know, that could be maybe you're stepping into your first manager role, or you're an entrepreneur and you're leading a fast-growing team, or you've been in your role as a team leader or supervisor or manager for a few years now, but you're looking to really supercharge your personal and team management skills so that you can inspire brilliance in your team. Okay, this is the program for you. If that's you, this is the program for you. So on this program, you're going to be introduced to 5 different subject matter experts and coaches, all with their own distinct wisdom and experience that they'll be sharing with you. And they'll be taking you through the fundamentals of effective personal and team management, right? This is the kind of stuff you're going to be mastering. You're going to be understanding your management style and like how that impacts your team, and discovering some quick wins for how to propel your effectiveness. You're going to be mastering how to role model sustainable productivity and well-being. So important. You're going to be mastering some empowering delegation skills. So instead of being a manager who's, you know, overloaded and burdened with like responsibilities and commitments, you can actually create, through really good delegation, you can actually create a team of thinkers, of problem solvers, and that kind of motivates everyone. And you get to reclaim some of your precious time back to kind of focus on really on what matters and where you can create value. Giving feedback, you'll be mastering giving feedback in a kind, actionable way. So you're not crushing people, you're motivating them with your feedback. I'm sure no one here crushes people with but just in case. And then making space for what matters. This is how we define productivity at Think Productive. It's about creating that space to focus on the high impact work, where the high value, you can generate that high value. And yeah, so you'll be getting back in the driver's seat, in control of your attention, your time management, your prioritization. Sounds good, right? Over to you, Jess.
Thank you. So Elena's just chatted through the masterclasses on the programme. So let's meet the subject matter experts who will be taking you through the High Performance Manager. You may recognise some faces on here. So we have Hayley Watts, one of our productivity ninjas. Hayley will be leading on our We Need to Talk masterclass, all about delivering feedback. We have Russell, who will be leading the manager role masterclass, all about understanding your personal management style. We have Lee Cottier, who is on the call today. So hi, Lee. Lee is delivering our double module workload and prioritization management masterclass. So this is done over 2 weeks, and you'll learn how to avoid distractions, get your best work done, and make space for what matters. We have Matthew Brown, who will teach you how to delegate like a productivity ninja. And last but certainly not least, we have Grace, and Grace is delivering the way of the productivity ninja for managers. So some real practical, impactful strategies that you can take back to your team straight away. So those are your subject matter experts. So how does it work? Well, the programme is 3 months. So you'll meet weekly with your subject matter expert, and the programme's delivered online. So we use Zoom, but don't worry, it will be so engaging. You won't even realise you're not all in the same room. And you'll be with a cohort of a maximum of 20 leaders. So we've kept the group big enough for you to meet other leaders in different industries to bounce ideas off and be inspired by, but small enough to really maximise the engagement and the impact of the programme.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big perks of this programme is that you're going to be going away with this little network of, you know, like-minded peers who are going to be your support network going forward into your career, as well as during the program itself.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
So
did you say the start date?
Oh no, starting on the 19th of April.
Yeah, don't forget.
So yeah, most importantly, it starts next month. So there's a few weeks left to join us, but we'll be kicking off on the 19th of April for 3 months, and there'll be a break for half term in there. So don't worry. Looking at the structure of the program. So we start the program off with a kickoff briefing. You'll meet Hayley. So Hayley will be our program compare and will facilitate the program. You'll get to meet all the other leaders that are on this journey with you. You'll understand what's to come. So a little bit about the masterclasses coming up. You'll have an opportunity to ask questions, and most importantly, you'll do your pre-program self-assessment questionnaire. So this is where you get to measure your baseline. So at the end of the program, you get to see the real life impact that your commitment has had. Like we mentioned, there's 6 masterclasses, all of them building on the thinking and the learning and the skills that you've gained in the previous session. That will help you to better embed the learning and reinforce those practices. Then we have 6 implementation clinics which accompany the masterclasses, where the masterclasses you'll have in the full cohort group. The clinics are run in much smaller intimate groups of 5 to 6. You'll meet with the subject matter expert, and there are a chance to troubleshoot any issues or challenges you might be facing trying to implement some of this stuff. Maybe you've got personal challenges, or there are cultural challenges that you're working against. You can celebrate wins, and you'll get some one-on-one time with your subject matter expert. And we have the program finale. So at the end of the program, this is a chance for you to all get together as a cohort and celebrate completing the program. You'll get to reflect and look ahead at what's next for you, and you'll also get your personalized impact report. So this is where you'll compare the impact from your baseline that you did at the start of the program and get to see what's changed for you over the last 3 months. That's very exciting. And we have quite a bit of support and accountability throughout. So we have the clinics and the report, but we also have a dedicated community lead. This is our brilliant colleague, Diane, and Diane will be with you throughout the whole journey. She will be your go-to person for any questions. If you're stuck, if you need some extra one-on-one support, or you just can't make one of the sessions, Dee will be the person for you. You'll also get a cohort WhatsApp group. So this is where your lifelong peer support network will exist, and throughout the program you can share wins and challenges with each other, but that will be your group to take forward forever, and get to check in with how you're doing in 3, 6 months and years to come. And you will also have access to the Thinkific Academy. So these are lifelong resources. We'll record every masterclass, so you'll get to look back and refresh your memory months down the line. There are bonus videos to help make the learning stick, articles, downloads, actionable handouts, the lot.
And the weekly challenges will be in there as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Have we talked about the weekly challenges?
Yes, so in between each masterclass and implementation clinic, there's real life work that you can take away and practice within your team or in your work life. So it's not too much homework, but there will be a weekly challenge. And if you do get stuck with that, that's where the WhatsApp group comes into play, and your implementation clinic. There's loads of support there to help you on the way.
So you know, we've said that this program will supercharge your personal and team management skills. By the end of the program, you're going to be equipped with specific and actionable ideas and strategies, which you will have already put into practice because of the weekly challenges. You're going to be held accountable as well in the WhatsApp group and in your small group implementation clinics. And this is going to be inspiring self-awareness and brilliance in yourself and the people you manage. This is the goal of the high performance manager.
So hopefully you are thinking, how do I sign up? Well, we only have 20 spaces on the cohort. So if you're fully ready to commit to the program, you're a leader who's serious about making positive change for yourself and those around you, then you just head over to our website. So I will post the link in the chat now. We just ask that you apply for the program by filling out a few questions about yourself. And then, yeah, once you hit submit, we'll be in touch. Yeah, there's not too many questions. It's just to understand the role you're in and what you'd be looking to get out of the program. Yeah. So here we are, ready for questions. So if you do have any questions about the program or about what you might learn, something you want us to cover in a little bit more detail, yeah, we've got the next 10 minutes or so to answer them.
Thank you. We've still got 35 people on the Zoom. Is each session recorded? Should you miss one? Question from Dennis.
Yes. So although ideally everyone would attend each week, we know that, you know, life gets in the way. So all sessions are recorded. So if you were to miss one, you'd have time to catch up on the recording, and everyone would have access to the masterclass recordings for life. We won't be recording the implementation clinics because they're a bit more private and personal, but the masterclasses will be recorded. Lise, how long the various sessions are? So the masterclasses are 2 hours and the implementation clinics are an hour.
And it's about the same for the kickoff briefing and finale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, from Kerry, will there be a certificate of completion I can print out for my office wall? Yes, there will be Think Productive, the High Performance Manager certification, which everyone gets their own one at the end if they've completed all the sessions and assignments and all of that stuff. So. Okay, any other questions? What's the cost of the course? Jess, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we have early bird tickets available until the end of March. The cost is £3,000 plus VAT for the early bird ticket. And then after the end of March, it goes to standard pricing. Can't remember off the top of my head, but we have standard pricing. And then if you're in an SME or a public sector or a charity, then we have discounted pricing there.
I can confirm those. So it's 3,500 for the standard rate, and then if you're in a public sector, SME or charity, then it's 3,200, and the early bird is 3,000. Chris is asking, do you have these throughout the year if someone can't make this cohort? We have another one coming up in the autumn.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we're going to be running them annually. We can also run them in-house. We run all the levels in-house. If you have 15, 150, 200 leaders, managers you want to put through this, we can run it in-house. with as many cohorts as you like simultaneously. Obviously, we're still doing the group coaching in very small groups as well. And we'll also create a waiting list for the public programme. If we find that it's very oversubscribed, then we'll look at potentially adding more dates or more cohorts to existing dates throughout the year, or in the autumn. Any other questions that we've missed?
Yeah, so in the autumn it will be the high performance manager that's run again, and then the influential leader will be in 2024. Dennis has asked, what would be the minimum number of attendees for an in-house cohort?
It's 12 minimum. Yeah.
We can run them simultaneously. So if there was, maximum's 20. So if you had 40, we can run them at the same time, the cohorts.
Yeah, and everyone would be at the same kind of kickoff, briefing and finale, and but then we break out into separate cohorts for the WhatsApp groups and masterclasses and all of that. And then if you did want to run it in-house, and the price after 12 participants does drop, but just drop us an email if you have any questions about that kind of stuff. We post materials as well to each participant. There will be digital materials, obviously, but there's a couple of physical materials. Something that we've been asked a couple of times is like, well, how, if you've already done some of our workshops or you've read the book, like how different is this? How different is this program? And I'd say, yes, you'll certainly be familiar with some of the content and concepts, but this program has been, specifically contextualized for managers. So all throughout, like each masterclass, each implementation clinic, the weekly assignments, the group reflections, discussions, action planning, all of that stuff will always come back to questions like, okay, how can you role model this for your team? How can you share this new practice with your team and make it part of your team culture or organizational culture? So it's always very contextualized for managers. Also with this program, you're going to be introduced to 5 different experts and their different coaching sessions. So they've all got their distinct experience and knowledge and wisdom. They are so wise. And then, of course, throughout this program, it's very unique because it has the small group coaching in between each masterclass. So it's a week after each masterclass to kind of have that accountability and peer group support built in. To reflect and to troubleshoot, as Jess said before. There's also obviously the weekly challenges, that's self-led implementation, real life practice, like putting it to the test in the real world. And also you've got the WhatsApp group, which is your very own network, which you take with you throughout the program and beyond. And finally, I just want to say, kind of, if you do have some foundational knowledge, something that Graham, who wrote How to Be a Productivity Ninja, something he always says is never underestimate the power of repetition. There's always something that clicks differently or more powerfully the second or third time that you hear something. And I'm sure we've all experienced that before. And, your work and personal life context will most likely be different to when you read the book or whatever. There'll be new anecdotes and group discussions and inspiration to take away. There'll basically be new light bulb moments for everyone. So hopefully that helps answer that question, which no one's asked today, but we have been asked before by clients. So Yeah. We've got a question here from Lee. Jess, have you read it?
Yeah, so will people have to have done level 1 to be eligible for 2 and 3? No, so you don't have to go through all levels. You might eventually want to, but yeah, you can enter at any point, depending at the level you're working at and what feels like it matches the skills you're looking for. So, you know, you could be C-suite but want to do the high performance manager, because you know there's value in all of them, and yeah, skills all leaders need.
Yeah, I personally want to put every single leader through this. I want to go through.
Yeah, you might be seeing us there.
How are we doing? Have we got any questions in the FAQs, Q&A bit?
No, none that we're
no one
waiting
likes using
on.
that today.
No.
Fine. We've got 4 minutes left. If you have any final questions,
I'll share our email, so if you do come up with any questions, you can just drop us an email.
Yes, let's do that. And I'm also going to share my LinkedIn if anyone wants to connect.
Yeah, and I'm just going to share again the link to apply. So if you were interested in joining us on the 19th of April, yeah, I've just popped in the chat the link to follow. So there's a button on there which will take you just to a short form. Cool. So yeah,
I'm just trying to share your LinkedIn, but my oh, there you go. Hang on.
Thanks.
Okay. As we said, this recording will be on YouTube in a couple of days, just, you know. Yeah. But any, oh, sorry, what was that?
Oh no, just by the end of the week.
By the end of the week. Okay. Yeah, hopefully that will have been helpful. Yeah, any other questions, do send them through. And yeah, we'll just keep going until 22, but if you'd like to finish early, we'll give you that gift of 3 minutes back into your life. Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you. Hopefully see some of you on the 19th.
Yeah.